The bedroom was dimly lit, the glow of candles casting flickering shadows on the walls. The sound of the Mediterranean waves crashing outside the villa provided a soothing backdrop. Laura stood by the open window, her silk robe clinging to her frame as the evening breeze played with her hair. She closed her eyes, inhaling the salty air, her thoughts consumed by the man who had completely upended her life. Massimo entered the room quietly, his presence commanding without needing to say a word. Dressed in a crisp white shirt, the top buttons undone, and black slacks, he exuded power and confidence. His dark eyes found her instantly, their intensity causing her breath to hitch. "You're thinking too much," he said, his deep voice rumbling in the quiet. Laura turned to face him, a playful smile tugging at her lips. "And how would you know that?" "I always know what's on your mind," he replied. Stepping closer, his gaze softened as he reached out to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. "I know you, Laura, better than anyone." Her smile faltered slightly, replaced by a flicker of vulnerability. "You're the only one who makes me feel like this, and it terrifies me." Massimo cupped her face in his hands, his touch both firm and gentle. "You don't need to be afraid. I'll always protect you, no matter what." His voice was low, filled with conviction. Without another word, he leaned down, capturing her lips in a kiss that was slow and deliberate. It was the kind of kiss that spoke of possession, devotion, and an unquenchable desire. Laura melted into him, her arms winding around his neck as she pulled him closer. Massimo lifted her effortlessly, carrying her to the large, luxurious bed in the center of the room. He laid her down gently, his body hovering over hers. His lips moved from her mouth to her neck, leaving a trail of fire in their wake. "Massimo," she whispered, her voice a mix of longing and surrender. "I've waited all day to have you like this," he murmured against her skin, his hands exploring her with reverence. "To remind you how much you mean to me." Laura arched into his touch, her fingers tangling in his dark hair. Their passion was electric, each kiss, each touch fueled by the intense connection they shared. Massimo's movements were both tender and demanding, his love for her evident in every caress. The room was filled with the sounds of their love, soft gasps, whispered names, and the rhythm of their heartbeats. They moved together as if they were made for each other, their bond unbreakable. Afterward, they lay tangled in the sheets, Laura resting her head on Massimo's chest. His arms were wrapped tightly around her, as if he couldn't bear to let her go. "Do you know how much you mean to me?" he asked, his voice soft but serious. Laura looked up at him, her fingers tracing the tattoos on his chest. "You've changed my life, Massimo. Completely. And I love you for it." He smiled, a rare, genuine expression that was reserved only for her. "You're my everything, Laura. I'd burn the world down to keep you safe." She laughed softly, pressing a kiss to his jaw. "You're dramatic, you know that?" "For you always," he teased, pulling her closer. The night stretched on, their love a mix of passion, tenderness, and unspoken promises. As they drifted off to sleep, the sound of the waves outside echoed their rhythm, a reminder of the stormy yet beautiful love they shared.